All right, so today we're going to take a quick look at how to complete the square. Completing the square, you first have to get in the form x squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Your first step is going to be to move the constant term to the other side. You're going to get this magical number, which is b over 2, and you're going to put it in the form x plus b over 2 squared on one side, and then square it and add it to the other side. I'm going to show you how to do that. Then you're just going to bring the constant back over. So here's an example. We have x squared plus 6x minus 8 equals 0. We're going to move the constant term to the other side. So you're going to move the 8 to the other side by adding it on both sides. Now we're going to get the magical number. Their b is 6. So you're going to have 6 over 2 equals 3. So what this looks like is, on the left side, we have x plus b over 2, which is x plus 3, squared equals 8 plus 3 squared. That's the squaring it and adding it to the other side. So we have the 3 on the inside of the parentheses being squared on the left side, and then we have 3 squared, which is 9, on the other side. Now we're just going to add them up and bring the constant term back over. 8 plus 9 is 17, so we subtract it to get to the other side, and we end up with the vertex form of the quadratic equation that we got. All right, so we are doing a couple examples. First, you're going to solve the quadratic equation for all values of x in its simplest form. We're still following those 3 basic steps. Your first step is to locate the variable, which is right here. You're going to work from the outside in. So the first thing you're going to see that we have to do is subtract the 10 to the other side, then divide by 3, and then at the end, we're going to take a square root. All right. So 22 subtracted by 10 is 12, divided by 3 is 4. The square root of 4 is 2. When we do take the square root, we're going to have a plus or minus. So you're going to go plus or minus 2. Now let's check this answer. There we have it. So they subtracted by 10 first, then they had 3x squared equals 12. You divide by 3 to get x squared equals 4. Now when they take the square root on both sides, you'll notice that you have a plus or minus there. Always put the plus or minus when you're taking the square root of something, when you're solving equations. So x is equal to positive and negative 2, which you could also write it as 2 comma negative 2. The next type of question you're going to get is find the complete the square constant. So if using the method of completing the square to solve the quadratic equation, x squared plus 13x minus 32 equals 0, which number would have to be added to complete the square? Now that they're talking about that magical number, which is b over 2, and then you're going to square it. So we're going to do, open parentheses, 13 divided by 2, and then we're going to do an up arrow and square. Where I get that up arrow is shift 6. I'm going to submit the answer. Let's see. Wrong. All right. Looks like I'm not that wrong, guys. They just wanted it a different way. So I did 13 over 2 and squared it, but they wanted me to do the decimal version. So 13 over 2 is 6.5 and squared. So they don't want it as a fraction. They want you to put it in the calculator. So when you do the problem, just put it in the calculator and you'll get it. The other way you could do is by actually squaring it. Now I'm just putting the squared on the outside. 13 squared is 169, and 2 squared is 4. So I could have just squared this myself instead of inputting it like that. So we're not wrong. This is one of those cases where it's just taking the input wrong. All right, so now we're going to complete the square, do a full-on complete the square. They've already done the first step, which is to get the constants turned to the other side. So now we're going to use our magical number, which would be 8 divided by 2 is 4. So we would have x minus 4 squared equals 9 plus 4 squared would be 16. Now, we always add it to the other side. So even though b over 2 is negative, we're going to add b squared to the other side. Now, once we do this, 9 plus 16 is 25, right? And so now they're asking us to solve this. Now, if we're trying to solve this, we locate the variable, which is x, and we have to work from the outside and go in. On the outside is the squared, so that's what I'm going to get rid of first. And when we get rid of that, we are going to be taking the square root. So it's going to be plus or minus square root of 25. What is the square root of 25? Square root of 25 is 5. By the way, this square is now gone. So this is what the next line would look like. The square root of 25 is 5. So let's put that there. And then we just need to add 4 to both sides. So when we add 4 to both sides, we get 4 plus and minus 5, which actually gives us two answers. 4 plus 5 gives us 9, and 4 minus 5 gives us negative 1. So our two answers are 9 and negative 1. And the way this popped up, I just hit the comma button and it separated the answers for me. And there we have it. That's the full thing. We kind of skip these two steps here. The way we do it, we go straight from finding that magical number to just doing x minus 4 squared and just adding the 16 to the other side. But here it is. Feel free to pause at any time.